Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Madam Nur Hidayah. My name is Nalisa Saira binti Muhammad Sabri and my partner Ruhashri will present about the article review. So for the first article, as of the introduction, so the article is called The Impact of Geopolitical Risk and COVID-19 Pandemic Stringency on Sukuk Issuance in Malaysia. So this article is published in the Journal of Islamic Accounting and Business Research (GIABR) in 2024 on the Emerald Publishing Limited. The article was published on 5th of June 2024 and was dedicated to accounting, business and Islamic finance, where it offers a reasonable academic substratum to Islamic investment studies. Next, the primary aim of the article is to explore the impacts of the external shocks in terms of global geopolitical risk, GPRS, and also the COVID-19 pandemic stringency, STR, on the size of Sukuk issuance in Malaysia. Uh, the paper highlights the significance of Malaysia as a major sukuk issuer in the world, as it is stated that although the country is considered to be relatively politically stable, its financial market is tightly linked with international investment flows. Moreover, the author seeks to measure and estimate the effect of such a macro level uncertainties on the behavior of sukuk issuance and present empirical findings of the research through to econometric analysis. Next is the problem of the article. So the researchers discover a critical gap in the research, considering that geopolitical risks and the COVID-19 pandemic have been researched with a reference to traditional bonds and stock markets. Little has been investigated in terms of their impact on sukuk issuance in Malaysia. So the practical significance of this problem is that sukuk is a significant financial tool that promotes the economic development and also the capital market in Malaysia. Um, Next, the knowledge on the effect of external shocks on sukuk will assist investors, regulators, and also policymakers to develop strategies that would stabilize the market in case of a crisis. Moreover, the article aims at knowing whether the global political uncertainty and pandemic limitations decreases the amount of sukuk issuance in Malaysia. So there are actually two hypotheses put forward by the authors, which are the first one is the effect of geopolitical risk on the issuance of sukuk is significantly negative and also influential. And the next hypothesis is the stringency of the COVID-19 pandemic has a strong and negative effect on the sukuk issuance. Um, Lastly, both assumptions are based on logic and theory that the uncertainty in the outside world deters investors' perception of risk, and it also lowers the activity in the financial markets. Next slide is regarding the review of literature and also the design procedures. So for the review, the sources are up to date and the majority are not older than 2017, which guarantees that the review belongs to the latest trends. Next, the review relies on accepted writers in the field of Islamic finance, including Bori, Alui, and Na'i, who had earlier examined the actions of sukuk in the face of uncertainty in the world. Uh, Next, the literature review does not present any bias. It involves a variety of perspectives that recognize both direct and indirect implications of the geopolitical and pandemic risk. There is, however, a slight shortcoming that even though the review is quite descriptive, it could have done better in terms of critical comparisons of the past findings. Nevertheless, the literature is well expository to the research gap and provides a strong ground on the hypothesis to be considered in the study. Next, for the design procedures, the research design is quantitative research based on explanatory approach, which is empirical, where the authors next, the information on the sukuk issuance size was collected using data stream. The authors employ panel data of 57 Malaysian sukuk issuing firms in the period 2018 until 2022. Uh, Next, the research also uses several econometric models, which is ordinary least squares, OLS, two-stage least squares, 2SLS, as well as the generalized method of moments, GMM, of fixed and random effects, whereas other variables were acquired using the World Bank, our World in Data, and the geopolitical risks index created by Calera and La Coville in 2022. These models are applied to address indigeneity, heteroscedasticity, and autocorrelation problems to make result robust. And lastly, the sampling was purposely conducted, and 57 companies that had steady support data during 2018-2022 were sampled. And the last slide for Article 1 is the data analysis and presentation conclusions. So for the data analysis presentation, the section of data analysis is sufficient and strong in technicality. The authors start with the descriptive statistic, which reveals the mean, median, minimum, and also maximum and standard deviation of all variables. They next perform a correlation matrix to establish relationships between variables, and they run a regression tests. Next, results obtained using OLS to SLS and GMM models are provided in tables. Uh, the findings indicate that geopolitical risk GPR and COVID-19 stringency SDR have a negative and statistically significant impact on Sukuk issuance at the 1% significance level. Moreover, the control variables also act as anticipated, as the correlation between GDP and issuance of Sukuk is positive and also significant, which means that economic growth promotes sukuk. And lastly, the authors employ Houseman test and J statistic, which justify the reliability of the GMM model, where the results are always consistent in saying that both hypotheses 1 and 2 are true. Lastly is for the conclusions. The authors affirm that the sukuk market in Malaysia is susceptible to external global forces, even though it is stable domestically. They blame the fall in the issuance of sukuk to the world conflicts, like the war between Russia and Ukraine, the US-China trade war, and the extended COVID-19 lockdowns in Malaysia. Uh, the suggested recommendations like ensuring market accessibility and enhanced regulations as well as risk disclosure feasible and applicable to the market, resilience against geopolitical and also pandemic associated shocks. The research emphasizes that more stringent regulatory frameworks, disclosure of the sukuk issuance, and also the risk management practices are required. Lastly, I have been able to learn that political and economic uncertainties in the world impact directly on the financial markets of Malaysia, including Sukuk, where it underscores the fact that the success of Islamic financial instrument is not just subject to Sharia compliance, but also global stability and proper risk management. That's all from me. I pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, madam. My name is Ruhasri and Devi. My ID number is 012023020988. I am from BIA student. I going to brief my part, which is the article 2. First one is introduction and the problem of the article. Introduction. Underwriters and firms utilize signals like repeatable underwriters and management earnings forecasts to bridge this gap and build investor confidence. This study analyzed how underwriter market share, underwriter spread, and management earnings forecast bias and accuracy impact IPO underpricing specifically in Indonesia. The problem First problem is in the article underwriter reputation and IPO underpricing. Second problem is underwriter spread and signaling. Third problem is management earnings forecast. Fourth problem is market inefficiency and information divergence. Review of literature and design procedures. Review. Underwriter attributes and The review underwriter attributes and the reliability of management earning forecasts, which all relate to the core concept of information asymmetry. The review to pointing to a strong negative relationship between underwriter reputation and underpricing, while others report inconsistent or even contrary results depending on the time period and specific market conditions. Design and procedures. These studies will follow a quantitative correlation research designed to examine the relationships between underwriter attributes, market share and spread, management earnings forecast characteristics, bias and accuracy, and the underpricing of information IPOS. Evaluate the statistical significance and signs of the regression coefficients to determine whether the results support or refute the hypothesis. Okay. Data analysis presentation and also conclusions. Data analysis presentation to analyze the effect of underwriter market share spread and management earnings forecast bias and accuracy on Malaysian IPO and the pricing. Researchers commonly use quantitative methods with multiple linear regression being a primary tool. Okay, conclusion for this article. Significantly influenced by underwriter characteristics and the reliability of mentioned earning forecast. Studies confirm that higher market share reputation for underwriters tends to correlate with reduced underpricing due to the signaling effect of quality, which lowers investor uncertainty. Thank you, madam.